What's going on, guys? It's your boy JefTV, and today we're gonna talk about how to drive with a pillion. Today we're here with my girlfriend Yuka to assist me today. We're gonna talk about how to drive with a pillion,
What to do as a pillion,
what to wear while riding. I think I covered that up in my previous video.
and also the bonus for today is I get to share what I think as a pillion.
I think that's a good point. Let's get right to it.
So the first point I'm going to talk about is how to drive with a pillion, right? So the two major key that you need to consider is when you accelerate and decelerate. What I mean by that is, let's start on the bike first. What I mean by that is when you accelerate, you want to accelerate gradually and not like instant. If you're driving alone, that's fine, that's completely fine because you can control it on your own. But not all the time your passenger know like you're gonna accelerate or not. So in order to be comfortable for them, you want to accelerate, gradually, just like this, and then you can go on, and that would make them feel comfortable sitting on the back seat, because especially on a sport bike, it is hella small back there. So you need to really think about your passenger when accelerating, because or else they possibly would just fly off when you accelerate like hard. Because if you accelerate really fast from 0, this is what's gonna happen. Especially on a higher cc bike, you don't want to be doing that, because if your passenger is not paying attention, for sure 100% they're just gonna fly off. The other thing that you need to consider as a driver, not just the acceleration, but you need to consider about deceleration. It's just the exact opposite of acceleration. So if you want to go to a stop, you want to stop gradually, obviously, because if you just hit the brakes, you possibly will do a stoppie, and I can't even do a stoppie. Hello, hoo-hoo. But yeah, if you're gonna go to stop, make sure you think about the passenger seat as well and do it gradually. The other point I want to point out, when you're driving a pillion, you're gonna have to drive extra careful, because driving a motorcycle is already dangerous, but you're not just looking out for yourself anymore. You're gonna be looking out for the passenger as well. So when you drive, you want to make sure you look both ways all the time, because you want to make sure like it's 100% safe for the passenger. And the last thing is just enjoy the ride. Nami?
Oh, you just kicked my hand. What a horrible driver. And I'm recording.
Oh my god.
Okay, first stop, get on safely. Right? And then secondly, the first thing I always do, or you should also always do, is squeeze your knees against the hip of the driver. It makes it more secure. So you squeeze your inner knees against the hips of your driver or the rider and place your hands on their shoulders. Basically, what you want to do is make your lower body very stable. Alright? And from here, as he goes, go. Come on, driver, drive. Okay, so from here, you grip onto his shoulders strongly. You can actually have this option of just having your elbows not really locked. But if you feel like you're kind of not so comfortable with that, you can extend your hands as well. Or what you can do is you place your hands into the tank. Okay, place your hands onto the tank, but as you place your hands onto the tank, you would want to press your wrist down very strongly, that you feel like your hands and your upper body is very stable. and then grip on to the driver with your inner knees, right? So this is actually, I find, the most stable way of holding on to the driver. And of course, there's another one, which is like basically you just hug the driver, right? So if you're that close, you can hug the driver as you squeeze your inner knees. So basically, I'm telling you, it's very important to make the lower body stable. And by doing that, you just kind of like feel safer as you ride at the back. And it makes it easier to lean with the driver or like be at the back as the vehicle is moving, right? Okay, so the next point is no sudden movements. If you feel uncomfortable at the back, or like you feel like you're unwell or something kind of came up, you have to establish a signal with your driver, like maybe tapping at the back like that, making him stop. Or like if you want him to be more cautious of like the environment, or say on the right hand there's a big truck, you just tap the right hand and he will look at the right hand and like be more cautious about it. All right, so just no sudden movements, because basically you're on a moving vehicle, right? So if you feel uncomfortable, just letting him know, tapping the shoulders. This is like usually what I do, is I tap the shoulders, or if I'm like hugging him, I would like tap his chest, like there's something's up, you know, just letting him know, but not like, you know, kind of like shaking him or something, because if you shake him, the entire vehicle is shaking, and that makes it completely, extremely unsafe. All right, okay, he wants me down. So what to wear? First up, you need a helmet, you need gloves to protect your hands, and also we have to wear the protective jacket and also protective pants. Having all those protective gears help you stay safe on the streets. Yeah, wear comfortable clothes, and it would be incredibly hot. For the ladies, I highly recommend that you wear pants or shorts. And also, if you have long hair, it's very good to just have like a very low ponytail, so that it's easier to wear the helmet. And if you feel like it's too messy in here, if you wear this low ponytail, you can do like a French braid. He will put the photo here. A French braid basically keeps all of your hair together, and like even after you remove your helmet, it's like completely fine.
So now it comes down to our personal thought about driving with a pillion and...
Oh yes, and being a pillion. Yeah.
For me, being a driver with a pillion, I think that I would say, because I usually drive alone, and having a passenger behind kind of gives me a good feel of a company. Like, you know, I get to drive another person around, and also maybe go have a cup of coffee or something like that. Like, what's with that look? But yeah, I mean, that's the most enjoyable thing for me, having a pillion behind me. And also it's very challenging, because not only you're trying to compensate with just your own weight, you have to consider another person's weight as well. That's why leaning together is very important.
Okay, so my personal views as a pillion, I am terrified when the driver decides to like squeeze into the middle of two vehicles and stuff like that. So definitely I would say communication is very important. Like he has to like tell you, or like the driver has to tell you if he's gonna do something, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna squeeze in between these you know, cars or something like that, so that you will be like, you know, mentally prepared. And also like, say if the driver needs to kind of like accelerate, he has to tell you as well, or kind of like if he needs to drive faster.
Actually, sometimes it's a great help as well. As a driver, normally you would just look in front, and like, you know, having a pillion, they have, you know, everything else surrounding them. Like they get to just look around and remind you, oh, there's a big truck right there. So it's like it's a good it's a good sense. Actually, I never taught her that. Like, she does it on her own, and you know.
Yeah, when I see, like, you know, it's actually quite helpful as well for the both of you. Because like if I see on the hindsight there's a car that is kind of like speeding or like kind of like cutting lanes on the right or on the left, I would like just tap him and he would notice it as well, which is very good.
That's what you call the A-team, I'm saying.
What you doing?
Fist bump.
Oh. And also I like doing this if he's speeding up. Ah! Keep safe, guys. No speeding.
Okay, so that's it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna do the last bit.
Peace.
Yeah, that's the one.